Hello, again, here we are. We're going to be talking today about complementary and supplementary angles. And this isn't the same thing as a compliment and saying, wow, I really like your haircut. This is complement as in their definition that states two angles are complementary angles if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. So what they are showing you here is that angle AOB and angle BOC together, 60 plus 30 equal 90 degrees. So 60 and 30 would be complementary. Same thing over here, the angle AOB is 50 and angle BOC is 40, and again that equals 90, so they are complementary angles. So complementary angles again is two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So if I said 45, you would all be yelling at your computer right now that the complement is 45 as well. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have you try, or we're going to do number one together, 1A, and then I'll have you try the other two. And I know that for the most part, you probably won't be showing your work, but because these are our notes, again, I want them to be a little more explicit. So complement, again, if you see the word complement or you see the word supplement, you need to make sure you're telling yourself that it means 90 degrees because you don't want to get the two confused. So if they're giving you 80 degrees, you're going to start with 90, subtract 80, and you will get 10 degrees is the complement to 80 degrees. So if you could continue on and do B and C. Okay, so for B we got 60, C we got 45. Number two is asking you to name two angles that are not complementary to each other. So I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and practice naming some angles. They want two that are not complementary to each other. There could be a multitude of answers here, so I'm just giving you two possible ones. If we're looking at AFB, and then if I go on and say CFD, those two angles, 75 and 75, do not add up to 90 degrees, so they would not be complementary. Then I took the other two acute angles of BFC, which is 15, and DFE, which is also 15, and said they were not complementary. So number three is saying that your friend claims that all complementary angles must be acute. Is your friend right? Go ahead and think about that for a second, and you decide. Okay, I said that yes, since complementary angles add up to 90, and acute angles is less than 90 degrees, then that means that if you have two separate angles that add up to 90, that they must be acute. Number four is going back to what we did yesterday, and this time they're telling you without a diagram that angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles. The measure of angle 1 is 24, the measure of angle 2 is 3x, so then what would be the value of x? And you might be saying at first again, they're not giving you enough information. But because they are telling you that angle 1 and 2 are complementary, they are telling you that they add up to 90 degrees. So what I like to do is to create a little mini equation from that statement. I'm going to write angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. Now that I have that equation or formula, I can now substitute what I do know in there. If angle 1 is 24, I'm just going to replace angle 1 with 24. And if angle 2 is 3x, I'm going to replace angle 2 with 3x. And then it's just a simple two-step equation from there. I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. I get 3x equals 66. Divide by 3, and I will get x equals 22. Again, you are not telling me what x, you're not saying that what angle 2 is, you're not saying that x is in degree, you're just saying x is 22. If I wanted to go a step further, I can now ask you, what is the measure of angle 2? If angle 2 was equal to 3x, and we just solved x to be 22, I can double check to see if I did my work correct. 3 times 22 is 66, and is 66 plus 24 going to give me 90 back? Yes. So these are cool because you can check your answers and see if you get the correct one. So number 5, very similar, but this time they did give us a diagram, and they're telling us that it is a right angle. So if I have 47 and 6/10 plus x, that's going to be equal to 90. I will subtract 47 and 6/10. Need to add the decimal there. you're left with x equals 42 4/10. And since that one does have a degree on the x, you can add a degree on your answer. The next definition says that two angles are supplementary if the sum of the measures is 180 degrees. Supplementary angles that are adjacent happen to form a straight angle because they share a common side and a vertex. So supplementary angles, they're saying again, add up to 180. So any angle plus another angle that adds up to 180, they are considered supplementary. How I remember the difference between complementary and supplementary is C comes before S in the alphabet, 90 comes before 180 when we're counting. Just a quick way for me to remember. So number 6 is going to be very similar to what we did on the front, except this time when it says supplement, you are going to think 180, so you are going to be subtracting your angle measurement from 180 instead. So for A, I get 130. Go on, do B and C. Okay, so again, it's just 180 minus 165 gives us 15 degrees for the complement, or supplement, excuse me, of 165, and the supplement of 90 will be 90. And again, two of those angles together would then give you a straight angle. I'm going to let you try number 7 on your own. Just be careful, what is the diagram showing you, and then write your write an equation from that. Okay, so these two angles together form a straight line, which means that it's 180 degrees. So I added the 2x plus the 50 to give me 180. X ends up being 65. You can go through and check your answer again. So don't use your original equation, go back to your diagram, because that's where we're getting our information from. Our check would be 2 times whatever we got x to be, which was 65. Plus that, wouldn't that also give us 50? So 2 times 65 does give me 130. 130 plus 50 gives me 180. So I checked to make sure that my answer that I got for x would work. If I got any other answer for x, then I would not be able to say that those two angles equal 180 degrees. Because this is an equation where there's only one solution. Number 8 is asking, can the measures of supplementary angles be equal? And I'm going to say yes. If we refer back to C on number 6, we had that one angle was 90 and the supplementary angle was also 90. So I'm going to say yes. They could both be 90. All right, thanks for watching. We will see you later.